Intro.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. Anthony and Skylar will take it from here. Master Chief, out.
Hello and welcome to Koality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. I'm Skylar Sokol.
I am Anthony Nicolosi.
And today we've got part 2 of Halo, because, you know, if a new Halo comes out, we're going to do like 8 podcasts on it, probably.
Well, not only that, but hey, I didn't make you play the whatever 10 plus hours you played. That's on you.
Let's see where we're at now. We are currently at 14.9 hours, actually.
We ended up having a lot more data on hand to talk through since you played it so
right.
much.
Unlike all the games I'm interested in that I ask Anthony to play for us to do impressions on, I played this one. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. You do try. I've actually played significantly more ranked than Anthony has, I think, unless you have an update from this weekend.
I mean, over this weekend, I placed in open crossplay, and I placed Diamond 1 using controller.
Okay.
Then I am in the process of placing, what is it? Solo duo
controller. Okay, I placed in gold 4 in keyboard and mouse solo duo, and I am currently 4-0 in my placements for open crossplay so far on keyboard and mouse as well.
Okay, so your gold 4 was in PC in keyboard mouse only?
Keyboard mouse solo duo, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I mean, I was saying in chat, I mean, I feel like generally it's a little different because you're a real gamer, but generally speaking, when people try play Halo and their only FPS experiences with other kinds of FPSs, they don't do awesome. But hey, nice job.
I'm an expert oddball carrier. I'll tell you that. If you give me the ball, we win the round. That's all I gotta say.
So for the people who are listening who might not have known, the HCS started 343's on their shit. They were ready to go. They had like a 405 plus team open tourney
crazy
over the weekend, and they finished the grand finals between Optic and Cloud9 actually had a bracket reset. Optic reset the bracket in game 5 with a 50-49 Slayer win in live fire. And then they went to game 5 on the second one where Optic won in the game 5 Slayer and Bazaar, just like totally
shit. Crazy. That's awesome.
Epic first tournament. The reason why I brought it up is because Oddball, I think we're going to talk about Oddball, but got a different perspective on it.
Interesting. I'm interested to watch some more pro play, actually. I'm excited to watch some. So anyway, let's get into it. So last week we covered all the weapons, our first impression on those, the armor and abilities, the armor and movement abilities. We also covered our opinions on the UX. I would just like to say a formal apology for saying that it has the worst UX of any game I've played. That was a hyperbole. I do think there are a lot of issues with the UX, especially for new onboarding players, but I just don't want anyone we know and love to listen and think that I'm a jerk, because I'm not usually. Jesse and Randy, please don't hate me. Anyway,
interesting points for what it's worth, though, and I'm sure they still appreciated it because, I don't know, I just don't. I never. You
haven't been a new player in Halo since Halo 1. So
Halo's never had that kind of stuff. Haven't been a new Halo player all my life, basically. So. Yeah. It's good feedback.
Anyway, all right, so first thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the general movement, how the movement feels in this game. I know it's pretty different from previous games, especially with the removal of a lot of extraneous abilities in Halo 5. We pretty much only in the basic movement sandbox in this game have sprint and crouch and slide and jump, right? That's it. That's our kit. And crouch and slide are the same button. So
now there's going to be a meta, I'm telling you right now, evolving around the drop sliding in this game. So if you're sprinting and you're maintaining sprint off a ledge, if you initiate crouch while still in midair, you can get some serious serious sliding power. And
Really?
like there's kind of two versions. So there's
Is this like some Apex Legends shit?
I'm not super familiar with the Apex slide. I will tell you, I'm sure it's not as fast. The Apex slide, if I remember correctly,
It's very, very fast. Yeah.
But it is a significant. If you can execute it correctly at the right moments, I think it's going to be a significant advantage, especially if you're like coming around a corner. Like especially as you get into the higher levels of Halo, as the pros demonstrated this weekend. The fucking strafing that was going on in the pros this weekend.
And you have full accuracy while you slide, right? 100% accuracy, right?
So I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know if you can you shoot while you slide?
I don't even know if you can shoot. I think so.
I don't remember.
I think you can. I think you can shoot always.
Drop sliding where you like jump. Okay, so like if you're running off, like if
the
you're
Anthony
on top
I know
tower,
would not play a game where you can't shoot always, so you have to be able to shoot while sliding.
Well, but to do this kind of like fucked up fast slide. So for example, I know that in the first one, so there's two versions of the drop slide. The first drop slide is basically as long as you're sprinting and you jump up, as long as you are holding slide as you land on the ramp, you're gonna go vroom, and doesn't matter how big the ramp is, you'll get the acceleration. If you shoot while jumping, it cancels the whole thing.
Okay.
So you like can't shoot to execute that. I don't know if you have the same penalty in the other one where literally if you're on a step and you just sprint off, it's hard to time, especially on the smaller sprint. But if you hold crouch just as you come off, you can do the slide thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure if shooting fucks that up. So
okay. Outside of these crazy slides, what's your first impressions of the movement? Because yeah.
Huge fan. So like I am so happy that the kind of crazier movement abilities have been sandboxed. So like you get repulsor, grapple hook. It's been kind of contentious with some people in the Halo community. I'm a huge fan of the fast strafe. I think that's fun. And I love, first of all, the increased base movement, but also its relative proximity to the speed of sprint.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I sprint a lot more in ranked because of like no radar and shit, right? But in casual, I really don't sprint very much. But in ranked, there's not really any reason to, which is really interesting because that's like a huge difference between the two game modes.
Yeah. I'm okay. So because of the radar, you don't sprint,
right? But in ranked, I sprint all the time because there's no radar, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I see it. I don't know, man. In like ranked, I don't notice myself. I generally don't want to sprint. Like, I feel like I'm in a better position to react to plays if I'm not sprinting. I will occasionally if I'm in ranked and I spawn up. We're playing strongholds or some shit, and I can see where my team's at, which by the way is dope. It's nice for me, not pro player, and fucking teammates who don't com with me on mic to be able to see their outlines.
Yes.
If I know they're all over there and we have that sector of the map, I'll sprint over them.
Yeah, that's more what I mean, just for map traversal kind of stuff. I'm not like sprinting in fights, but yeah. Cool. I guess another.
Well, two other things, just real quick, I wanted to say. One, cool that you can shoot immediately out of sprint.
Okay.
Big fan. That was a big part of like whether I made a TikTok about like sprint might be broken because that's one issue. Like that's annoying. The other thing that I was concerned about that has proven itself not to really be a problem is you can sprint and recharge your shields while sprinting, and you couldn't do that in Halo 5, and it was a way to balance sprint and not make it so OP. But I think it's just the combination of it's not that much faster than base speed and
the
relative
level
design
speed. Yeah,
makes
totally
it work.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the movement feels really good. I enjoy moving in the game. It feels pretty natural. I like the jumping, especially like the ability. There's so many places, especially in, oh God, what's the map? With like the pillars that go up and down on B site. It has the energy sword off the thing. Yeah, the jumping around on that map is so fun to like jump on the pillars, then jump across. When I'm oddballing, I'm like jumping all around and going in a big circle so people like can't get I really enjoy the jumping and the clambering. I have a really fun time with personally.
Cool. No,
especially with the repulsor jump too. Add that and I'm like I'm having so much fun.
I want to get better at the repulsor jump. The pros did this play where they were bottom floor of recharge, that same map you're talking about. and they repulsored all the way up to like where the A
Like the top of the pillars,
stronghold
right?
is. Well, no, like the top of the fucking. Well, maybe it's the equivalent.
I
height,
see
but
what you're
it's like,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then like close somebody off with the mangler. That was sick.
that's so
But
cool.
like you got to, I think you need to like jump just as you repulsor it or something.
Yeah. You jump. I think you jump first. Yeah, I haven't figured it out, but I can get a lot of height, like at least 5 times jump height, if not more. So.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah,
I have to figure it out. A lot of times I try and I just like boom nowhere.
Yeah, I
like,
jump first and then I repulsor, like after I jump, not immediately, just like a little bit after. And I think
maybe that's
works.
what I'm doing. I'm screwing up that order.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic. Are you good? Moving on from movement.
Ready.
I think we're good. Next topic is not a very ranked focused topic unless we're playing on that one map that's way too big for ranked, which is vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love how the human vehicles drive. Haven't played in a tank, actually. Sorry for what it's
I
worth.
haven't
But
either.
the warthogs and the mongoose are. I love how fast they are. You get them in and they just fucking take off, and that's
I
very
agree.
satisfying.
I will say though, the keyboard and mouse driving does not feel very good. I think the driving is designed for an analog control scheme where you have multiple levels of push, because like you really only have one speed on keyboard and mouse to turn with. I think you can use the mouse to turn instead of A and D, but that's very unnatural to me. So like trying to use W, A, and D to move to like turn, I run into a lot of like I turn way too sharply problems. But I do like the vehicles, but I have noticed that sometimes I just can't get it to do what I think I should be able to do.
It's not like Forza, to be clear. It's not like it's fucking handling amazing, but
Right.
it's fast and fun to handle is, I guess, the way.
Yeah.
A lot of times in other Halos, I avoid driving them, but I'll drive these. These are fun.
Yeah, I like even the mongoose is like fun to just like speed around on, right?
Yeah, you're like, fuck, I need to get over there. Okay, I'm just gonna take this thing because it's fun, you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
I really like being in the Warthog gun seat. I think mouse is like the most OP shit for the Warthog gun seat, dude. I like kill so many people who seem to think they can kill me, but I just like, I just like go whoop, and now I'm looking the other way and they're dead.
That's true. That's probably pretty powerful on keyboard and mouse because, like, if you're trying to rotate around a controller in the Warthog,
there's a slight delay, right? Yeah.
Well, and the fact that your driver's maybe moving, so like,
right.
You're committing to this direction, and then he fucking turns, and you're like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm just whooshing around. Yeah, it's fun.
How about the alien?
That's like the ghost and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. I think the Wasp is super fun. As we call it, the plane is super fun to drive. I like the Wasp a lot. I think it's really fun.
I think it is too. Maybe we'll get into this later. Using the Wasp, which is what we're talking about right now, is fun.
It is kind of OP to fight against. We'll talk about this at the end of vehicles, I'm sure. Fighting against vehicles. But alien vehicles, the Ghost is fun. The Banshee is fun. I honestly, there isn't really a vehicle in the game that I don't think is fun to be in.
I thought they were all fun as well. The only thing I was going to say is I think the Banshee needs a bit of a buff. I think it's a little weak.
It feels way worse than the Wasp. I will say the Wasp feels way better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like that's definitely weird from a Halo sandbox perspective. Usually the Banshees are like the shit.
Right,
know?
they're like the air vehicle of choice, right?
Yeah, the apex air vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the Wasp should be outclassing it. So I think it needs a buff. The Ghost, it's like fun getting run over by these things, man.
Yeah.
Like
and running people over. Yeah, I think the vehicles are well done.
Yep.
Now let's talk about trying to kill a Wasp, though.
I just think in general, like if you have the right weapons, it's not terrible to kill the Wasp.
Even killing like warthogs, though, like vehicles feel very hard to kill in this game. I don't even think 2 grenades kills a warthog, which is crazy to me.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, so in Halo 5, there was a big. I would say the vehicles were too weak. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They were weaker than this, and they were so weak that you were just like, do I even
getting in one was like a death sentence because you just get killed immediately.
Well, and also think the Spartans were fucking OP because everyone's thrust sliding and shit all over the place. They have like all these advanced guns, but at the same time, they were kind of weak. So I appreciate the direction of trying to make vehicles more of a presence, but I just feel like there's just not enough to combat them when you're in there. So like the shock rifle is fun.
Shock
to
damage
use.
in general is like, I think, very underused for vehicles because I don't think people have
I agree.
realized that it's like the thing to do against vehicles.
But my problem, so for example, if I'm thinking about, I think it's High Point. It's the one where you play stockpiles on, where you've got
Fun.
like that
Yeah.
fucking
We'll talk about that.
like cliff.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about though?
Yes.
That cliff.
Yeah, the
level?
one with the two turrets.
2 turrets. That is the night one, right? That you're talking about right now?
No, it has the rocket in the middle. Is that not the map you're talking about?
Maybe we're talking about the same one. Rocket in the middle.
It has the
Does
skewer spawn on the side with like the down ship.
I think that's a different one. That's
Okay.
the night one. It's fine though. Any of these, like the point is that the shock rifle will sometimes, because in casual it's not like consistent spawns.
Okay.
Like you'll change
Yeah,
between
yeah.
games, right? What spawns in the weapon lockers. The shock rifle will sometimes spawn in one spot, but it's fucking like there's one place on the map with a shock rifle.
Right.
I think in big team there's got to at least be 2 per team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
instead of just 2 on the
You
map.
need more guaranteed ways to fight against vehicles.
Yeah, or give me a skewer, because the skewer's not trivial to hit a
No,
vehicle,
especially
with,
air
you know?
vehicles.
Right. So we just need more anti-vehicle shit.
Yeah.
Is my main problem. It's not really how hard the vehicles are; it's the lack of things that are useful against them.
Totally. All right.
Yeah.
Next thing, game modes. Another thing with a few types of stuff. We got this game so far in the game. At least let's talk arena first, I guess. We
Okay.
have capture the flag, strongholds, Slayer, single capture the flag. We have on one map, and then an oddball. I don't think so.
think you're
I
right.
think that's all of them. So first, most obvious mode is Slayer. I mean, it feels like Slayer. I don't think there's too much to say about this mode, right? I don't think it's changed significantly from previous Halos or anything like that.
Not really. I would just say it's a little more, maybe substantially more team focused than Halo 5, just because as a Spartan individually, you have less of an opportunity to like just totally.
There's less
shit
like
on everybody.
1v4 outplay potential with a
No
bunch
way,
of bullshit, right?
You're basically fucked in a 1v2 situation.
Yeah. 1v2, if you win that, you're like very pogged out of your gourd.
Yeah, and you probably had fucking like a repulsor or a grapple hook helping you somehow.
Right. Or got a really good grenade hit or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
it's like very rare. So that's the only thing I'd say about Team Slayer. It seems like it's more team focused, which is always.
I'm a huge fan of that. Like in arena in general, all the modes feel very team focused, and I really like that.
Yep.
Second mode, I mean strongholds. I think strongholds is really interesting because your favorite.
I think it's my favorite.
Usually in like capture point modes, they're pretty like stationary modes where you like get to a capture point, you're holding it, you're trying to prevent people from taking it. This one, I feel like I'm like more encouraged to be constantly moving, which is really interesting and fun and dynamic. And so I do really enjoy strongholds as well.
Yeah, I think capture the flag is always fun as fuck, but I think strongholds is probably my favorite. I love some of the little tweaks they made between Halo 5 and this one. So in this mode, in this version of strongholds, if you have 2 strongholds, but the other team is at all making progress in one of them, your scoring stops.
Yes.
That did not used to be the case in Halo 5. It used to just keep going. So that's cool. I think that makes it exciting. And I don't know.
It's fun.
I love the times around capturing and everything like that. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I think they're really well done too. So I actually, now that I'm thinking about, we'll talk about at the end our ranking of the modes right now. At least the arena modes first. So next is capture the flag. When we played the flight, I really enjoyed capture the flag. It was my favorite mode. Granted, I don't think all the team modes were in the flight when I played. I think so. I'm not as big of capture the flag anymore, and maybe it's because I'm not usually playing on 4-person teams. I think with like full organization, capture the flag could be more fun for me, but in like a duo queue situation, I feel like we just don't have enough control to make things happen.
Hmm.
Whereas you can totally make things happen in like Oddball and Strongholds and Slayer just with like one other person you're communicating well with.
No, that's true. Like if you have to like fucking slay and control like map sections on capture the flag,
Right.
and I agree. The more people you have communicating and working together, the more fun and easy it is to
Yeah.
execute.
So I know like the flag throwing and stuff has been reduced in this game, right? Like how do you feel about how the flag movement and just flag gameplay in general feels?
So watching also the pros yesterday, they were juggling it. Nobody used the grapple hook to juggle. I don't know if the grapple hook was present in the maps they played though.
Can you,
know what I mean?
repulsor the flag? Is that a thing?
I don't think you can
That
like,
would
just
you
wail
just like
that shit.
repulsor it across the map and deliver it.
Hey, but I don't know. Well, team collision is probably off.
You can't repulsor
right?
teammates. Yeah, you cannot.
Okay,
And you don't
that's what I was
collide with
gonna
your
say.
teammates. Sean and I were trying to like boost like in Valorant, and then I just jumped right through him, and I was like, oh, just kidding.
Maybe that's why you could just like repulsor your friend
That would
across
be
the map with
hilarious,
flag.
dude.
So yeah, I think it's a cool addition. I think it requires my impression would be my first impression of the flag juggling in Halo Infinite is it takes more skill to execute efficiently.
Definitely.
And I'm down for that, especially compared to like Halo 5. You could like thrust slide at the end, jump that shit. I'm telling you.
You're like
Halo
halfway
5
there in one jump.
It's like Superman's fucking running the flag.
Right.
And you're like, God damn, like how are we anyway, so I like the flag juggling implementation
Cool.
so far. It seems like it requires some skill to do well.
Cool. Next is Oddball, which is maybe one of my favorite modes.
I think this is my favorite version of Oddball ever, for what it's worth.
So
Yeah,
I
Oddball
really
Lane.
like holding the ball. I think it's really interesting to have to play mind games to like move, find places where you have lots of variety of options for movement to when the enemies come and you know where they're coming from. You can like tuck away and then like melee the fuck out of them with the skull when they get close and stuff. And I've just found a lot of interesting ways to play with the ball that I find really fun just because it's so constrained. You know what I mean? The constraints force you to play a lot more strategically. And then also throwing the ball off the map when you're about to die and your team gets wiped or whatever. Pog strat.
You hypothesized it would be like a thing in the pros in the pro games. It totally was.
Yeah.
They there was a lot of ball resetting happening. I think the thing that is so here's a few things I really like about this variation.
Give me
of
your
Oddball.
likes and pro highlights. I'm very curious.
In general, the reason I like Oddball is because you sort of need to like carve out a space for your team to hold the ball.
Yeah, it's sort of like a stronghold, one stronghold, but you get to choose where it is, anywhere on the map.
A one stronghold / Slayer, you need to like kill enough people to like be able to feel comfortable enough to take that, and then that's subsequently going to be a disadvantage as the other team closes in.
Right.
So there's some interesting things that happen there. I think some fantastic changes were the fact that Oddball did not used to have rounds.
Right, I heard that the round system is brand new, right?
And I think that was such a good change.
That's crazy. I like can't imagine the Oddball in this game not having rounds. It would feel so unfair because one round is like can be so weighted against one team if they just get a good start.
Not only unfair, but imagine that it was twice as long.
Yeah, that just sounds like a slog.
And that would that's part of my impression of previous Oddball implementations. Is it just like, gosh,
right? Especially if you get behind and you have to because even getting behind in this one can feel long. So
if one team like totally owns a section, and closes a section down, especially as some of these guys get good, they might. If these pros start getting really good and one team's got like fucking repulsor and I don't know what the shit and they're all
like one has a sword, one has a repulsor, and you're just like fucked.
It could be tough to break them out of there. So having rounds at least gives some opportunity of a reset there. I think that's great. It's also much more pleasurable like watching experience than slogging through the fucking whole thing, watching the pros. Up to 200. Ball resetting, I think, is super interesting that it resets so fast.
It's like 3 seconds. It's like so fast. Something like
really fast.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I think that adds an interesting wrinkle.
Totally.
Again, it gives the a team that maybe is disadvantaged some opportunity to make a play. You know,
It also rewards more team play and communication, like we were saying, right? Because the way that works is if you tell your team and they can react, like it's just rewarding more team strategy, which I think is always positive.
And finally, the last change that I think is really interesting is there's a 5-minute timer on the mode that only runs if no one has the ball.
Interesting. I had no idea that was even a thing.
So yesterday in the pro games, Optic was down by like 32, and they pulled the ball with 5 seconds left, and the clock froze, and they ended up winning. They ended up like driving all the way through and like barely by like 1 second or some shit. So you should totally go back and watch the oddballs. Those were good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 343 nailed the design tweaks that I would say you before capture the flag, strongholds, fucking like A category, right? A tier. And then like oddball was like C or less. I hated oddball. This one, it's right there, man. It's like B plus, you know, it's a lot of fun. So
Derek in the chat asking if you should download Halo. The answer is yes. When Anthony and I both enjoy something, that's like a really strong recommendation because we have pretty different tastes in a lot of things when it comes to video games.
Yeah. I can get away with enjoying things on a more like Monkey Primal level, but you know, Skylar's not. There's got to either be a significant enough.
There has to be a lot of macro strategy for me to enjoy it, usually, or it has to be a rhythm game, which is the toy thing.
Right. Well, or in like Rocket League.
I mean, Rocket League has a lot of macro strategy too.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's I think my enjoyment of Rocket League and Halo coalesce, if you will, around the fact that it's like a lot of macro strategy, but like dynamic macro strategy, right? Sure. It's like if you fucking lose, if that guy loses that gun battle in that corner where he's kind of isolated, totally changes like what strongholds you might go for, you know, whether you make that spanker push or not, blah, blah, blah. Especially the higher you get, like you're saying, that team focus, the higher you get, the more important that team stuff is. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So let's rank our modes really quick. I think for me,
for arena, right?
For arena, my current ranking is God, it almost feels like Oddball, Slayer, and Strongholds are tied for me at the top. They're all very close.
Talk about the one flag, capture the flag.
Oh, well, that's not in ranked, but yeah, I think one flag, capture the flag is sick. I think it's super cool idea. I hope they'll design a map they feel confident enough putting in ranked with that mode because I think it's a really unique feeling mode.
I agree. I have in previous versions of Halo not really enjoyed it. This one was fun. That one, whatever spaceship map.
Yeah, it's cool.
A lot of fun.
It feels very different, and like the strategy feels different enough that it feels worth including. Anyway, so one flag, capture flag, I'm not going to include in my rankings because there's just not enough content, I feel like, to rank it. But yeah, I think Oddball, when I like see a mode, I think Oddball's the one I get most excited for, then Strongholds, then Slayer. But those three are like so close for me. Like they could easily swap depending on the map even. And then capture the flag is my lowest and probably like a little significantly lower than those three. Like I would rate those three modes like S and capture the flag like A- maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about S tier. So I would say S tier for me is Strongholds. I think it's like a step above the others. A tier would be capture the flag. Oddball doesn't feel like it's B though. It's probably like capture the flag is like A plus and Oddball's like A minus.
Sure.
I'm not a big fan of Slayer.
No,
like it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Like,
I think the team play in Slayer in this game has been really interesting to me. Like trying to form like a coalition with my team and like work together has made the mode more interesting.
I would put Slayer right under Oddball probably. I agree with you. It's like a really fun version of Slayer. It's just I find the objectives more interesting.
Cool.
Like I think like the Slayer is maybe it's just because I feel like the people I play know how to play Slayer better than the other modes, and so it's more consistent experience, I guess, and the other ones are a little more varied because we're not good enough to like fucking know the pro player strats and stuff.
That's fair. Okay. Anyway. I think Let's do some fast big team analysis. I think in our deep dive design we'll talk a lot more about some of the big team battle stuff. But let's just do some quick big team mode talk. So, big team capture the flag. The big interesting difference there is that you can capture the flag regardless of whether your opponent's flag is there or not, or your flag is there or not. I think big team capture the flag is fine. It feels very swingy to me. Like I don't feel like the games are very often very close. But I feel that way about most big team battle, honestly, that I've played. It doesn't feel that close always.
Okay.
I don't know. Big team capture the flag, I'm not the hugest fan of. I think it's fine. I think, once again, if I had like 8 people in my party, I would like it a lot more.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I feel like a lot of times big team battles are like they hold. Teams will hold, and then at the end, like one will just overwhelm the other one and kind of like close things out a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
There are every now and then some really epic ones. So big team. First of all, I think a big part of big team experience are the maps.
Yeah.
Fragmentation, which is the one we played in flight, is probably my least favorite, I think.
Which one's that?
So that one has a lot of like the columns going up through the map. If you know what I'm talking about, it's like you have 2 bases on either side. You take man cannons off into like kind of the central part.
Yep. I know which map that is.
I think that's my least favorite one.
I like that one because it has the power cores and that, or whatever they're called, and those things are really fun to throw.
Oh, that's true. They do have a lot of noob tubes.
Yeah,
you can.
Those are fun. But other than that, I agree that map is eh.
I just don't.
And
it
has annoying ass wasps.
Sight lanes are. Oh, okay.
Right, that map has really annoying wasps.
Oh, which makes it even worse from a sightlines problem. That's my biggest issue with that map. We compare that one to Deadlock, the night one, where it's like a lot of open.
You can see like the enemy base from your base, even,
and no fucking wasps.
Yes, true.
I don't think right.
That is the only big team battle map without flying vehicles, I believe.
I'm down for it, man. Fucking get out of here. It has the 2 big turrets in that middle section. I think maybe for that reason, it's my favorite map. Just like the gameplay on.
I think it's my favorite big team battle map as well.
Yeah, I think second place is High Point. I think is what it's called, the one with the ledge, and then third would be Fragmentation. The maps are in general are like, I would say Deadlock for me, the highest one is like solid A minus maybe. The others are probably B.
Yeah, none of them really blow me away, but they feel fine.
Right, exactly. They're not like bad. They're not like legendary either, kind of a thing.
So anyway, what modes do we have? We have capture the flag, which Slayer's fine. I mean, Slayer's just Slayer, right?
Yep. I don't really like Big Team Slayer. I'm gonna be honest. Probably not my least favorite.
But it isn't true. But it isn't great. I agree. I think honestly, when I play Big Team Battle, the only mode I'm really excited to see is Total Control. That mode is amazing. That is such a good mode.
Yeah, Total Control is my favorite too. Yeah, so it's probably Total Control for me in A+. A is Capture the Flag. I like just like I like how an epic moment can happen.
Capture the Flag does really provide that kind of opportunity. I agree.
Like that fucking insane like warthog run while the wasp is chasing him and some motherfucker shock rifles the wasp and
No, that's really
those
fun.
Those are a riot. Now
the unspeakable mode.
Slayer is a B.
Okay. Yes. And then
fucking F.
Stockpile F. No, it's I think it has. I'm sorry to say this. I love everyone who worked on Halo, but I feel like Stockpile has like no redeeming qualities. I just don't think there's anything fun about it.
It's so funny because the takes. This, like the commando rifle on Halo Twitter, is basically.
Wait, is it divided? Don't tell me that there are not people that love Stockpile.
Really like Stockpile.
There's no way.
I don't know why. I really don't know why, because it is in such strong contrast to in my opinion, the most fun part of Halo Infinite, which is like
shooting guns
and executing like this. I don't know,
moving around like.
5 batteries. Okay, you have 12 people on your team. 5 batteries at any given time. You want to be like kind of trying to run back.
At least.
Really, I was gonna say, and realistically, you for sure have at least 1 or 2 people involved with the protecting of the power seeds,
Right.
at least,
Right.
like directly there. It seems like, or you're fucking doing even more than that. So it's like you have to all play managing those damn batteries,
Which you
and they're
can't,
all
which are
playing
not
manage-
fun. Which are
So-
not fun to play with, the batteries. Once
No,
you're holding a
they
battery,
are
the
not.
game becomes unfun. It's not like the flag where it feels epic either, because it's like 1/15 of your victory rather than 1/3 of your victory.
Agreed. It doesn't have the epicness to the run. It feels like a chore.
Yes.
Like running the seeds
Yes.
feels like a chore that everyone needs to take part of. And honestly, a lot of the stockpile matches I've played are fast, and I think it's because fucking both teams are doing it. It's like, okay,
No one's
I
really
guess
playing.
we all
You're
need
just-
to go grab the batteries, and we
Yes.
all need to run them back.
Yes.
Like, so I just think I personally do not understand why people like it. I hate that mode. I thankfully have not. Every time I have a challenge that's stockpile related, I
You just
fucking
clear it.
spend money
Yes.
to get that shit out
Yes.
of my challenge
Yes.
hopper.
Yes.
I hate stockpiles.
Yeah.
I really don't like
Evan
playing it
mentions
again.
in
Yeah,
chat the other stockpile mechanic, which is that you can steal the power seeds, which is interesting, except for the timer is like 10
but
seconds.
fucking forever.
It's like
yes.
impossible.
That
Yeah.
shit I agree. If stealing stuff was a little faster, it would make it more redeeming there. I just think like you need to, when you pick up a power seed, you need to either be able to use some armor abilities. You need to like put it on as a backpack and still be able to shoot. or
Right.
some
And maybe
shit.
like have some limited movement or something or whatever.
Well, just imagine, if you threw the power seed on as a backpack and you could shoot, but the power seed could get exploded. you
Sure,
could
like
shoot
if someone
back.
shot it, that would be cool. That would be really
Do
fun.
something, make
Yeah.
it fun. Like that shit is not fun.
No.
Running those batteries sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's my by far least favorite experience in Halo
Yeah.
Infinite.
We've had some ideas about other ways to improve it too. That backpack idea with them exploding, I really like. That's one of my favorite ideas we've had. We'll talk more about them in our deep design dive
Right. I
next time.
just do not like. I
No.
don't like-
All right, moving on. Let's talk about something pretty different. I guess we sort of talked about maps. We talked about the big team battle maps. You want to quickly cover the arena maps since we are sort of in there?
Yeah, I just say I don't have a map I don't like.
I think Behemoth is weird, but it's kind of fun.
Behemoth, in my opinion, playing it in ranked, especially where there were no vehicles, is so like
No, wait. It
It-
does.
it-
I thought it still. Maybe I haven't played it in ranked. Does it not have vehicles when you play it in ranked?
no, but you all have battle rifles, so you get into a lot of like long engagements.
I feel like the thing that
You know what
makes
I mean?
Behemoth fun is the fact that it has vehicles, though. Like without that, I feel like that map just is gross.
In casual, I do think it helps. In a like, I don't know, man. It's not as ass as I thought it was going to be in ranked, so it's still going to stay there. Now, don't tell it. I hope the Halo community doesn't hear this because the Halo community fucking loves Behemoth. They're all like, they all think it's one of the best Halo maps ever made. I don't think it's bad. by any
Like the
means.
ranked version or the vehicle version?
Probably vehicle. I would say. is
I
more
like that.
accurate.
I think the vehicle version is fun. I would rate that like it's good, but no vehicles. I can't even imagine that being fun.
You should, yeah. I hope you get it in ranked.
Yeah,
I'd
we'll
be
see.
interested. It's also a capture the flag map in ranked,
Right.
So there are some interesting moments. The man cannons help it out. I don't know. I just haven't gotten to the point where I'm vibing with that map yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna get a B from me.
Yeah. I. It's definitely my least favorite of the arena maps, but I don't think it's horrible.
It probably is mine too, honestly.
Let's talk live fire since that's like the map everyone's played the most by far, and I feel like even now we're not in a flight. Like 6 of every 10 games I play are on live fire or some shit. I feel like
I think Live Fire's got a good readability to it.
It
Even
does.
if you never played Halo before, it's really readable and understandable.
the tower's cool. Like it's got some nice features, right? It's got the tower, that's fun. The like drop down into the under tunnel is cool.
As the pros kind of verified, like the tower and garage are like 2 power positions to hold.
The
Especially
oddball
for
playing
oddball.
oddball mind games on the tower, so fun.
And like the pros, the tower, garage, if you just come out of garage on the left side, there's that like mini tower.
Yeah, the like
that you
spire
have.
on like the B stronghold or the
Right.
B.
So The tower and that section, the pros were doing a lot of ball resetting off of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that 50-49 Slayer happened on live fire. It's just got like it's readable, but it's somehow I thought I was gonna be bored of it by now, and I'm not. Like,
yeah, me neither. I think it's fun. And the mid with the power weapon spawn that's like really logical and easy to understand. I think it's a well-designed, simple map.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's got more depth than appears.
Agreed.
Is the way
Live fire, yeah, high rating for me. I originally thought I would be really bored of it too, and I'm not.
yeah. I'm gonna give it a name myself.
What's the stupid map where you can see the other spawn from your spawn that has like the lettuce?
Aquarius.
I hate Aquarius.
That is so
I hate
funny.
that map. Though it's got like the bridge in the middle with the camo spot.
Yeah.
Yep. I like not a fan.
Do you like it less than Behemoth?
No. I don't think so,
Okay.
but I don't like it.
That is so funny. I think Aquarius is really interesting and has a lot of movement depth. There are a ton of teeny baby slides everywhere. And
maybe I haven't really implemented slide into my gameplay almost at all. So maybe that would change my opinion.
yeah, look around for those. And something that this might seem ridiculous, but that totally redeems Aquarius for me is that in the middle, when you're if you drop down to like in front of your base, right? So
right, and there's a little hut in front of you.
Yeah, there's a little hut in front of you, and then there's 2 lanes that go to the sides and to stairs. Right before you get to those sides, like the openings there's a little ledge that you can jump onto and that you can jump to top on.
Yes.
Totally redeems that map for me. Like, I don't know if I would have liked it half as much without that access to top mid. I have actually had a lot of fun capture the flag games on there so far. So I actually really like it. I think I prefer to play it than live fire.
I will say Aquarius capture the flag is pretty fun. I am thinking about that, and I do like capture the flag on that map. Okay. Next, let's talk the city map.
I love how it looks.
Aquarius has a cool look. I think a lot of the maps, honestly, they have a nice variety in look, and they all look nice.
Yeah, which props to 343, anybody who's ever listening by chance, because that was a huge criticism I had of Halo 5. They look so samey.
Too similar.
So many of the maps. Yeah, really nice.
So what's the like sci-fi city map called? The one with the rocket launcher in the middle. Streets. That map is sick.
I like Streets.
That map feels like one of the most like where live fire is a simple map that is well designed. This is like a complex map that is well designed.
I agree. I really, really like Streets. So holding, like, for example, if you're holding, I love strongholds on Streets.
Yes, strongholds the best. It maybe is the best strongholds map, and like I only want to play strongholds on that map.
I love Recharge, and I love playing strongholds on Recharge, but Streets is, I just think, to your point, maybe the reason why I like Recharge more is because Recharge is a little easier to digest.
It is a simpler map for sure.
Streets has got some depth, so I could see like over time Streets being like my favorite one.
Like
there.
all the sites on Streets are really interesting because you have like the one in the house, you have the one in like the wood thing, and then you have the one on the raised platform. Like they're all very iconic feeling almost.
And I was thinking about like, okay, you know, B is like next to the arcade on the side. So if you're in B, I think the dynamic you have of when you're in that stronghold is a good example of like why Streets is fun. When you're in B, you're monitoring the slope up from C, right?
Yep.
Like they can come up that way. There's a stairs that's like immediately in front of you,
and they can come from A on the right.
Yeah, they can come in from A on the right, which has like this back room path.
Yep.
And this, I think the pros were calling it tires room, which is like next to the stairs, is like to the side right there. So you are like, when you're in there, you know that without teamwork, you're going to probably get overwhelmed eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're like trying to manage that, but you like, this is like, we've highlighted this in various points here, but the teamwork requirement on Streets, you got to work as a team. You're totally fucked. You're totally going to lose if the other team is using any amount of teamwork and you guys are just all soloing.
Yeah. And knowing where people are coming from on that map is more important than almost any other map, just because there's so many places they can come from.
Love that in ranked there are only 2 shots in the spanker. I think it would be too
Oh,
OP if
nice.
you had 4 shots.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
think
I don't know if I've played Streets and Ranked yet. Actually, I'm not sure, but
that's a good time. And yeah, in ranked when you have the BR, which at least on controller has less aim assist close range, you get into some fucking squiggly strafe battles, baby. Like some people are jiggling around trying to strafe back and forth. Close quarters on streets, you get some good ones. Mangler shines there. Love the inclusion of the stalker rifle. I think teams that figure out how to manage that like balcony in C can really you got some good sight lines from that balcony. You can aim into B and you can actually get an angle at A from there. You're a little exposed, but yeah. Anyway, big fan of streets.
cool. Whatever it's called, R1 that you just said.
Recharge.
We talked about Recharge a little bit earlier, but I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a great map.
I love it too.
Yep.
I love it.
And then lastly is Bazaar. I think Bazaar looks really cool. It's kind of fun, but I don't know. It's kind of weak for me. It's not nearly. I don't think Bazaar is nearly as good as the other maps. I think it's down. Just the other maps are so good and well designed, feeling that Bazaar seems like almost too simple to me.
I think I prefer Bazaar over Behemoth.
I agree. The sight, just like it has such weird small sight line, but sort of large sight line area. I don't know. I just don't like the pacing.
It yesterday did not like help me. Like you should watch it. But they spent a lot of time. You know where the bulldog spawns? Like on the side, there's like this
in the like underground tunnel
pathway.
Yeah,
they spent a lot of time in that rocket building area.
Okay,
and So anyway, Bazaar, really cool looking. Love that it's a new Mombasa, like from a lore perspective. That's pretty cool. That's the human place you're in Halo 2 and you crash land and you kick some ass. But yeah, I just Behemoth and Bazaar, I just haven't vibed with those yet. Maybe there is a vibe there that I'm not getting, but
no, they're shit. That's all.
All
right. Next, let's talk UI and HUD. Let's talk like in-game first. In-game HUD.
Okay, the little what they're calling the weapon rocker in the bottom right. Okay, I don't want to bias you. What do you think?
I think the fact that there are icons for everything is shit because it's really hard to tell what you have from an armor ability perspective for a new player, especially. I think that's really bad. But other than that, I think it's fine. Like it doesn't get in the way. It communicates what I need. I don't care. I think it's what I need. I think like the HUD is just enough, but not too much.
So yeah, we talked about it. I'll bring it up within the context of the podcast. Like I think the use of icons is a long-term nice thing, short-term frustrating thing. You know what I mean? Like once you get used to the icons, I think you're like, it's more readable. But yeah, I agree. And I could see that. I do not like the bottom right placement of like in previous Halos, you had like grenades in the top left. You had your gun.
Right. It was very spread out, right?
In the top right. Yeah. I don't use my HUD now. Like I am basically I don't fucking that's the one part is like it's really in the corner.
It's true. So, the only time I ever use it is when I pick up an armor ability and don't know what I picked up, so I need to squint at the icon to figure out what I got. But other than that, I don't think I'm ever looking at it. I agree.
That's true. I think that is like if I'm in big team battle and I just like ran over the grapple shot and didn't pick it up, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I look,
Yeah.
It is again, this is not a personal attack on any developer, but like or team, but
it is
the way you tell what the grenades are, what grenades you have, and which ones you can switch to is awful.
Oh, I have no fucking clue. I just throw
shit.
I just remember. I know what I have. I never switch grenades ever. Even when I've wanted to, I haven't because it's just like too much work.
It's awful. It's so bad.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Like it's not when I say it's not too much or too little. It's just because I'm never using it. But you're like,
and the other thing, when to your point of like readability, like when you're shooting, you only have the numbers like 0-1 out of 0-4 in the mag for a sniper rifle. In the previous Halos, you had little bullets indicating,
so you could quickly get a quick glance.
Yeah, fuck, I hate the numbers, like I gotta do math. Or you're encouraging me to do math. I look over and I'm like, oh, there's 12 shots out of my 36. And now my stupid ass brain's like, that's about 33%. It's like, pay attention to spawns, fuckface. Like, we can't be calculating percentages right
Oh
now.
my god.
So,
Yeah.
not
All
a
right.
fan of the
Not a
game
fan of the
one.
HUD. All right. Well, what about our menus?
I'm a fan of the pause menu and the menus you can move through there. And
Sure.
that's
Pause
it.
menu is fine. Main
That-
menu, customization. I don't know what happened. Who decided that horizontal scrolling menus is like a good idea for anyone? And who decided that like having the customization menu and like all the menus require so much loading because they have like dynamic. I have a fast as fuck computer and those menus still take like 5 seconds to load. And I'm like, just let me see the menu. I don't care. I like just want to pick my new color. I don't want to click 4 tabs deep to get to a color choice that I then realize looks like is locked or looks bad.
I do. Yeah. I don't like. I don't know. I'm trying to think of.
Give me grids.
Like what
give me grids, please. Just give me grids. Small grids. I don't need all this shit.
Too, because Master Chief Collection started as a horizontal based menu and they eventually got to vertical. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, I still think my favorite implementation of like a first person shooter cosmetic UI is Destiny. I think they do it.
Destiny's is very simple. It makes sense.
Yeah, and at the same time, they do a good job of being able to progress through depth, right?
Yes.
Like going through my options and stuff, and also making it look cool and satisfying. I just like this is not it.
It feels so clunky. I think that's like the best word I can use to describe the menus. They just feel so clunky.
Yeah, and I don't get some like the armor hall. There's like other armors, but I haven't unlocked those armors. Like, what is this? Are you
the customization menu is so unclear what is going on whenever you click. There's just like icons that you go to, and you're like, I don't know what this icon is. You click it. There's like 2 items in there that are locked, and you're like, I don't know what this is.
The other thing I was mad about was I bought the HCS skins, and the HCS battle rifle skins are not in the battle rifle color options. So I was running around with the fucking black battle rifle after having bought 2 HCS skins, and then I was watching a pro player. I'm like, I should have those skins. I bought
and you
them,
do have them or no?
I do have them. You have to go into the customization shop menu, go to HCS, go to the skin you previously bought, open it back up, go to the battle rifle, and hit equip.
What?
Like, what?
What?
It's a battle rifle shader. It should be my battle rifle shader.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, what?
It's bad. It's rough.
I wonder if, honestly, I'm going to be honest, what if they implemented this? They did some internal testing because, as they indicated, they had the Forerunner group, the internal content creators, whatever, were providing feedback. Let's say 6 months ago, the feedback from the UI was like, this is ass. And they're already on a new version. And they just are like, this is like basically the old version that since the new version isn't ready, they just got to use.
Right.
But like, that's why, I mean, some stuff like that, like the battle rifles, like what?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's move on to something that we like more about the game. Audio.
So good.
Audio is great in this game. It is great. Everything about the audio is great. Every sound feels like it fits the thing that it goes to, and some of them are just obscenely satisfying for like no reason.
What's your which ones are your favorite?
I try to like the capturing sound when you capture the flag is so good.
The
stronghold capturing sound, which I think might be the same sound, is so good.
I'm not doing it in ranked, but I'm not shitting you. Sometimes I have let them capture the stronghold so I can hear the like sound. It's so good.
Evan does mention in chat, and maybe you're about to mention it, that the sound he doesn't like is the kill sound. And I agree. I think it's very unclear. Yeah, because I every time I get killed, I think I died from melee. It like makes me think I died from melee.
Why you think that? Now I will tell you, Halo 5 had this like sound that after you hear it for fucking 5,000 times, Halo 5 was in some of its like core always happening hot sounds was driving me insane. Like I
Okay.
could not stand the death sound. This one, I agree, I can totally understand what you're saying. I do think though I'm going to be so happy about it like 2 years from now after playing this thing for thousands of hours,
Yeah.
if that makes
Okay.
sense.
No, that's fair.
But I get what you mean.
I
I
also
get
think
what
it's
you
just
mean.
really hard to tell how you died. This is a a HUD issue, but like it just shows you the icon of the gun or whatever, and it's so small that it can be really hard to tell what gun it's even showing. I wish you got
Some
more
people move
data.
fast too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I wish there was just more data and like the sound could be something that would help if there were different sounds for what you got killed by, but there isn't. It's all the same feeling.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
At least when you die,
I
not
guess
necessarily when you kill someone, but when you die.
those sounds haven't bothered me, but I can understand what you're saying there. I
Yeah.
think
What were
some
you
of
saying you
you
didn't
know
like?
what? No, I love all the sounds. One
Okay.
of the sounds though that I fucking love, that I didn't know I loved until last night when I snuck in a game for my challenges. The Banshee, like I think it's like the bomb shot sound sounds
Mm.
so
Mm-hmm.
alien. It's
Mm-hmm.
so weird and good. It's very different from previous Banshee shot sounds, but it's like whoa, whoa, like some shit like that. I was like, what a cool sound!
Yeah.
Like I'm not find that Banshee and have it shoot me again. Like
Sounds are great.
um
The sounds are great.
that yeah, they are really good. Love the kill sound. I think it's better. It's an improvement on
I
Halo
like the
5.
kill sound. The kill sound is fine for me. It's the death sound that is bothering me. The kill sound I'm fine with. I think it's satisfying. Now something I'm interested to hear what you think about the music. Not counting the menu music, which is obviously great to just hear, but like the in-game music. What do you think? Because really, you only get music at like specific times during the round, right? And
Yeah, so
it's kind of cheesy, I would say, but
I like it. I can see why you would say why a person would think it's cheesy. Totally. I would actually sort of expect like the pro players to be like, this is cheesy.
they wish
but
they could like disable it probably.
it is cool. Like it's cool to me, and I do feel like it adds something to the game when you're watching it live too. Like when the music kicks on, it's just
Sure.
like a hint, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit like boom, 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 or whatever. I also like it as a oh shit, things are wrapping up indicator.
I will tell you
guess.
that, like, the halfway done music sounds like the round is ending to me. Every time I hear that shit, like on Oddball or on or whatever, and it or like Slayer when they're halfway, I'm just like, oh, are we done? Because it sounds so conclusive. It doesn't end like unresolved.
Halfway to victory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's like, dude, you're done, and I'm like, what? Is the game over? Like, but
I now, unlike the kill sound, I do have my doubts about whether, including the main menu music for multiplayer, will I still find it enjoyable after thousands of hours? I'm not sure.
I don't know. You love the Halo music. You will.
I do, but I'm just saying they. I hope
or
they
who
add
knows?
some
Maybe once the
variant.
campaign comes out, they'll add more variant music. That could definitely happen.
Because I would say like the multiplayer main menu music's got this like post rockness to it.
Yeah.
Halo has that in places, but it's pretty distinct from like when you got somebody already like leaked the Infinite soundtrack,
Right. You were saying.
and it's like the Halo. I don't know. The campaign music is much more orchestra.
Yeah, classic Halo-y kind of
drums.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So far, I enjoy its presence in the game. It definitely helps contribute to my queuing up again when I definitely should not. Holy
Right.
fuck. Because I'm like hyped and I was like, my XP boost is still going and the music's like fucking. I'm like, okay, I'm queuing again, baby. Like, it's doing its job for sure for me right now. It's great.
Fair
I
enough.
love it.
Next, we're almost there. We're almost done. We're finishing this out. This is gonna be a long one, but it's worth it so we can finish this. We only have 4 topics left. The next topic is customization. This is just like the customization items that are available in the game right now. Obviously, we talked about the UI being shit, but what do you think about the items themselves? My biggest complaint is the lack of gun skins, which is the only thing you get to see while you're playing. So it's stupid to me that those aren't the thing that's being focused on. I know that's not like necessarily a common thing in Halo. I know like people care a ton about the armors, which is funny to me because you never get to see your own armor except at the beginning. But like, there you go. What do you think?
So the Halo community is like fucking up in arms about customization right now. I'll throw that in there. Halo has a history of you play and you unlock armors. Halo 5, when it introduced like the microtransaction-y rec system, got a lot of flack, and people are hating this.
By the way,
one
we
even
will be
more.
talking about the battle pass separately. So this is
Okay,
just
yeah.
about the items themselves.
So I will say that this is my favorite art style ever for a Halo game, including the armors. I think the armors look so fucking banging. They are so sick. I don't necessarily love, like, I don't particularly care for like the reach armors, which are most of the armors in the battle pass this season. But like the event that's coming next week, the Tankray event that starts next week with the fucking samurai, that shit is awesome.
That shit's sick, yeah.
The HCS armors, I think, look super good. That's the Mark 7, new Mark 7, like Keystone armor, which you get at like level 90. I don't know, wherever the fucking battle pass. That one is sick. I agree with you. I think so far what I would say is that the shader system is like very underwhelming, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they just need more of them.
There just needs to be a ton more. I agree. I think it's just a lack of variety right now.
So, yeah, the actual, from an aesthetic perspective, I love the ideas around the aesthetics.
We just need to see more of it.
Yeah.
Something we didn't include here, a topic that we can just cover real quickly, is the graphics overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game looks great. I love looking at it. I think it's really pretty and it runs really well. Yeah, I think graphically, like, I don't have much to say except for that it looks good.
I agree. I think your take would be more interesting. I don't.
Yeah, I'm playing on all max settings, like everything maxed out, and it's
yeah, and
I'm
playing
great.
mostly on the Series X, and it looks great. Like I told you, like Aquarius, I'm like looking at the floors. I'm like, fucking look at these floors, man. Like,
yeah,
the Mangler's got a great texture.
Mangler's nice.
So anyway, Behemoth is actually beautiful as fuck. Like,
it is a good looking map for sure.
This is by far, gonna say it, declare on behalf of the whole Halo community, this is the best Forerunner art style and execution of it ever in a Halo game. It looks so good. And Behemoth, the sand and shit on it, like, shit's awesome. So yeah, I think I am actually more impressed than I thought I'd be with the graphics.
Nice. All right. Let's get to we'll save the gross thing for the very end. So next we'll talk about net play, just overall net performance. I think it's been really good. I've had some situations where I've noticed, I believe, hit registration issues. I've also seen streamers I was watching notice them as well. There are situations where I'm like sure I'm shooting someone and it doesn't hit them. But and I'm not sure. I wish that my biggest complaint about the net play is that there's not enough information. I want to be able to see people's pings. I want to be able to see what input they're using. Like, why not let me see these things? It seems kind of silly.
Yeah, I haven't had too many. I
want my own ping, especially, and my own network stats, especially, right? So
I don't think I've had enough issues where I feel confident was a registration issue yet. So yeah, like if I have a couple of times said, oh, what the fuck, I swear I hit him, but I was shooting with the battle rifle, the strafe is fast, so like I'm not 100% sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway,
or I'm the fucking commando.
I think overall it's fine, but it would be nice to have more information, so if there were problems, we could identify them.
Master Chief Collection got that at the end, so I wonder if I'm sure they're aware of it and they're coming with it, but they had like Rocket League server information, ping information. So
that's what I want. Yeah,
me too. I think it's good. Next one,
levers in the game and how they're handled. Okay. In casual, you get replaced by bots. The bots are really bad. I've noticed they like maybe get one kill in the whole time they're there. In ranked, you get replaced by nothing.
Yep.
And I will tell you
can't like rejoin. Like,
you can't rejoin. Right. You can't rejoin. It doesn't replace even in casual. I think it does replace with new players if new players join. Ranked, obviously, that can't happen. But I don't know if there's even a lever penalty in this game. There's no. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
There is, and like some people were talking on Twitter, they got banned temporarily for it. But
that's good at least. But
yeah, and I do think we'll have to talk maybe with more information, more time, and paying more attention to about the matchmaking, because there's an implication here on that front. Like if this started in Halo 5, 343 adopted the policy that if a teammate quits, you automatically, if you lose, your MMR is not going to get that fucked because like your teammate quit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So That's good. But I think like the rejoin thing's gotta
Totally.
happen.
I mean, playing a game where we had a game where literally 2 people on the enemy team left in a Slayer game immediately, and like, you know, Slayer's like 10 minutes or something. It literally took we literally timed the game out. It was the most like, it was such a waste of my time. We like literally all just like went AFK.
Oh, and related to this, there should be a forfeit option.
100%, especially when there's a lever. Like, I can understand not having a forfeit option when everyone's in the game because you don't want people to get discouraged from trying or playing or whatever. But if there's a lever, give me a fucking option to just say forfeit. Like, seriously, it's crazy.
I think there should be a forfeit system. Do it like Rocket League. Everyone's got to agree.
Right, unanimous. I mean, the problem is you get like griefers in Rocket League when they forfeit and people don't agree, and I think that is a problem. And I think Halo would be worse than Rocket League for that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that if that happened, I would prefer there be a forfeit option. I think that, and if they quit on me, you know, there's the whole matchmaking. Like, well, at least I'm not going to get that fucked.
I don't know. It's scary to have a forfeit option in a game with friendly fire. I'll tell you that much.
So let's say, and maybe this is why they don't do it. But like, maybe they have data that backs you up on that. But I'm just thinking, if you had a forfeit option, 3 of you vote, and then whatever, somebody gets tilted and quits, the subsequent resulting team should also be able to forfeit, and they get no matchmaking penalty. You know what I mean? It's like the fucker who quit because we didn't all quit. It's still just treated as somebody quit. And so if we forfeit down a man, matchmaking perspective, it doesn't hit us as hard.
I guess, but the problem with that, yes, absolutely, right? Then you just start like team killing your teammate, making them have no fun so that they'll quit. Right? You're trying to make someone quit because you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could totally try and do that.
Well, in this 30-second brainstorm, I've already realized why it's a tricky problem.
It's definitely a tricky problem. I don't know how to solve it, but right now, like, at least give a forfeit option when someone has already left or something like that. Like, just make, when you have a lever on your team or against a lever, make the game still like fun and not a waste of time, because it's 100% a waste of time right now.
Yeah.
All right, last topic, the final topic in our first impressions, the newest addition to Halo, the Battle Pass.
Free to play,
the Battle Pass. On launch, horrible.
I want to hear what you think. Yeah,
okay, horrible. Maybe one of the worst, least rewarding battle passes of any game. And I know I talked about how I like to hyperbolize, but this is really true. Maybe the least rewarding battle pass I've ever experienced. Like, it feels not only unfun to try and level it up, but not even rewarding when you do. Yeah. Because the rewards are so minimal and like so uninteresting most of the time.
Both fronts, man. I feel like the best shit, like I told you, I don't have a particular affinity towards the reach armors, which is what the battle pass is all about. I feel like my battle pass starts at like level 70, which is fucking forever away.
Right.
Thank God they at least added 50 XP per match, but
it's nothing.
Okay. How is it 2021 with all of like the great research that surely Randy and Jesse have done on like extrinsic and intrinsic motivation for players? How the fuck do you not have a progression system? Like, just like I play and something gets bigger.
Right.
Like, it's directly tied to the battle pass. That's, I think, shit.
Yes.
I personally.
Yes.
There is no, like, for example, like Rocket League, you got your battle pass, but you also have just your XP.
And you used to have just your XP, and people were very happy. You used to not even have a battle pass.
Just XP. Like, what's the big deal?
Like, I don't
Halos
know.
Halos have had dope. Halo 5 was lame. It was just numbers. But like the Halo 3, Halo Reach, they had like, you know, military ranks that were for XP.
Sure.
Had nothing to do with skill. It was just like as you played, whatever. Yeah. And that was cool. I like, to be clear, I don't give too much of a shit about progression. I don't care what my XP level is in most Halos. But it's crazy it doesn't have one for the people who do care about it. And second of all, the fact that it's tied directly to the Battle Pass, which if you're looking at the Battle Pass, is completely challenge based And the challenges
Can we
are
talk
like,
about
you know,
these challenges, dude?
oh my god! And like the patch they put out, granted, made things a little better.
Not even close to good enough, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not. Like, at least I'm not getting the fucking kill 5 people with
Wraith tank?
Wraith's turret. The Wraith's turret.
The best part, the
Wraith,
best
man.
part of that challenge, it's worth I had it the other day. It's worth 250 XP. I re-rolled it, got a challenge that was win 1 PvP match, also worth 250 XP.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Like,
that shit.
what are you doing?
Also, I have totally, like, the problem with marrying it so close to XP progression is I have totally done a few things in game differently because I'm going for the fucking challenge.
Right. It's
you know?
actually forcing you to play the game a way you don't want to.
Yes, because it's even more incentivizing you to do it.
Yes.
You know, the fact that it is based on your XP, the fact that it is now your only way to get cosmetic items.
Yep.
This is more than just like the optional, XP system of Halo's past. This is like, there's a lot more riding on those challenges now.
Yeah.
It's the sole way you level up.
Yeah.
Prior to the 50 experience, it was literally the only way you leveled up.
And let's talk about how the challenge rerolls are locked behind battle pass levels. That's insane to me too. Most games that do challenge-based battle passes like this have timed-based rerolls, where like every day you get a reroll. Why? Why would you not do that? Like, it's crazy to me that you don't have free rerolls.
It is really, really, really bad.
There are no parts of it that are currently done well. I will tell you, it reminds me so much of Valorant. Valorant's battle pass was also Riot's first time ever doing a battle pass, and it was horrible when it came out. The XP was super low, and it was even worse than Halo in that when it ran out, it was gone forever. And like, people calculated it originally, you had to play like 80 or I can't remember, it was something crazy, like 8 hours, 5 days, 4 like some amount of days a week to do the battle pass, and it was a ton of time. I feel like this one is actually kind of similar. If you calculate how long you have to play this,
I think somebody did calculate that the season at this new rate where you get 50 XP at least per match.
Yeah.
They calculated like if that's the only thing you did, it was like 220 hours or something,
which is a lot.
No, dude, that's a lot. Yeah, for sure.
And now, but I will say, Valorant, this is maybe a glimmer of hope. Valorant realized they fucked up, and their battle pass turned amazing. But the one redeeming quality Valorant's battle pass has always had is the rewards were always really good. The rewards were good, cool gun skins, always. Cool decals, tons of really good stuff. Like, you look at the battle pass, and you're like, I want these things. Halo, it's like, I want the battle pass because it's the only form of progression I can get. And I'm like, I haven't even, like, unlocking things is so stupid. I'm like, why do I get a left shoulder pad at level 5? And then, like, 4 hours of play later, I get a right shoulder pad.
I'm totally with you on that one. Add on to the fact, I mean, I'm just the Halo community is up in arms because Halo, with the tradition of like, customization options and unlocking things through gameplay and unlocking like you just get more towards cosmetics for your gameplay in previous Halo games. Now that it's gone free to play, it's clear, right? I mean, like, this is how they're trying to make their money. Yes. A lot of the elements about this system are obviously geared around that. Also, I will say, data miners have found that like there's a fuck ton of more stuff coming, even within the context of just the season. So I do think 343, like the 10 cray event that's coming next week,
but you have to pay additional money for that, right?
I don't know. I don't think you have to pay money for the battle pass, but it is its own battle pass. So the 10 cray event, I'm curious to see how this one's received. The contents of it look sick as fuck, right? The samurai armor, all that shit. But it's a 30 level battle pass system, okay?
That you can't do. You have to replace your current one with?
I think you can only go, yes. I think you can only be putting your progress towards one or the other.
God.
And it's rotational.
10 ray event, just for the record.
10 ray, my bad. So the 10 ray event battle pass is rotational, meaning it will be available for a couple weeks, then it will go away and it will come back. It'll do,
and you can't finish it until it comes back. Right. If you don't finish
you can't put progress towards it until it's live.
That's fucked, dude. I hate the sound of that.
Now, I just like don't know what I think about some of this stuff because, um, it is just cosmetics. I know people
Yeah.
are like, "Yeah, it's not just cosmetics," but it is just
But it's
cosmetics.
the
Like,
money you're paying to the game, though, right? Like,
if I'm buying the battle pass, you mean?
yeah,
No, if I'm buying the battle pass, my main issue, my main issue with the battle pass being a premium battle pass member is that the awards are not that cool
no, I don't think it's
until
worth
you
the
get
$10. At
I
least right
agree.
now.
Well, also because the grind is so
The
slow.
$10
Meaning, like,
plus the time it takes. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, if it was faster, I would say maybe. So
Yeah.
I agree. Being a Halo fan, I'm fucking gonna probably buy every single one, sure, but I don't think people who are not are going to.
No,
Honestly,
especially after this first one.
yeah, yeah. I think people might be in a situation. Look, another thing. I don't know. Are people going to freak out about this? I'm not sure, but I personally would love the option to just selectively buy some shit. Like,
Yeah. I mean, there is the store where you can selectively buy shit. And
yeah,
usually
but
battle pass items are not in that kind of environment because they're separate. But yeah.
I want to buy that armor
I
of
know you
fucking
do.
fire effect. You know
None
what
of
I mean?
that.
Like,
Not allowed. So that's a battle pass item. You got to grind 600 hours.
oh yeah, this battle pass is bad.
Yeah, we'll see how it
This is
improves.
another thing that I'm curious as to. They said, as an example, some things they 343 came out in the community played and they're like, you know what, just as much as you guys, we want to be able to like reward players for doing well in games, for getting medals unlocked.
Yes.
Like, you want to be able to get XP boost from that. If you got fucking 5 double kills, that should translate to XP bonuses. But that the systems are going to take time. Again, I just wonder if this is a version they had.
I mean,
They
we have
got
to remember this is the beta. Granted, it's a full release. That's hard
I
to
don't
call a beta. When you don't reset progression, I don't really accept you calling it a beta, but
I don't think it's going to be changing by December
you
8th.
don't. You're not under the impression that it will change at launch.
I do not think the Battle Pass is going to get a rework by December 8th based off of the communication they've said, which is that they just need time to implement these
Sure.
better systems. It sounds more than like 2 or 3 weeks,
Okay.
which is
who knows, right? Who knows when this version went gold and how long they've been working on the release version, right?
No, to that point, like, they might have gotten internal feedback on this.
It could be next season, like Evan's saying, but I will tell Evan that they delayed the start of next season to 6 months, right? After the release of the game, which is also a delay of a very important feature for Anthony, which is campaign co-op, not coming till 6 months after the game comes out.
Yeah, I don't understand how, if you're a campaign co-op person, you're not going to play the campaign for 6 months. Like,
Right.
So that sucks. For a lot of people, we're going to be able to work around it, but
it does suck. Anthony and Brittany are going to be playing the campaign next to each other. They're going to be waiting for each other in their relative positions and be like, are we at the same place? All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's for real. I don't know how exactly we'll execute. It's probably going to be a situation where she's mostly watching me play most of the time, and that she'll subsequently play on her own later, Breath of the Wild style kind of a thing.
Anyway, I think we're going to skip Marcus's question again this week because this was very long. We'll get to it eventually when we have time, but we finished our first impressions. Those are our impressions. Let us know what you think. Tell us what your impressions are of the game, and if you want to play with us, how can they find us?
You can find us at koalaentertainment.com. There you have links to all our social media, including, most importantly, our Discord, where you can play our Research Idle game on the website. It includes all the information you need on how to play that. We do tri-weekly $50 gift card plus your choice of merch giveaways. Fucking pog, as the kids say.
Good. I'm slowly corrupting you.
In addition, we just launched weekly Parthenon giveaways. Super easy to enter.
Trivia.
We give away $10. Do you wanna have KO Koala subsidize your battle pass? Well, just come in, join the Discord, play some 24/7 multiple choice trivia. You only need to answer 15 questions for an entry. That's going to take you less than 5 minutes at 15 seconds a question.
Yep.
So and you make some friends. You can hang out with the Halo community in there. Discord is a place to be. If you want to support our studio, we have some new holiday merch, and in addition to that, we have a Patreon where you get a ton of perks, including free merch, behind the scenes access to some content. Skylar's actually working on a hot drop right now
It's
for
almost
the
done.
patrons. Almost done.
And I'll actually have like some of the most information about the gameplay of the game that's ever been said. Like, definitely.
And this game that Skylar is talking about is Agora, our single-player physics FPS that's coming for PC and Xbox. I forget to mention, you have links. You can get all the information we've released so far about Agora on our website, koalaentertainment.com.
Please wishlist us on Steam. It helps us a ton.
Wishlist on Steam as we begin our slow march to bajillion wish lists. I'm getting a reminder from a...
Well,
okay. She's reminding me I need to transfer money to
your Roth IRA or whatever. All right, great. Well, Anthony needs to go do that. So I guess
lots of info coming for Agora.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll talk to you next week. I don't know if we're going to do our design deep dive next week. Maybe we'll take a break from Halo and then come back. I'm not sure, but that'll be coming soon. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it.
Next week, we'll bitch about the 10-ray battle pass.
That's right. This is now a Halo podcast, if you didn't know. All right. Thanks everyone for listening.
Okay. See ya.